You already use dark psychology every day. You just don't know it yet. Every time you've ever felt guilty for saying no to someone, that was dark psychology working on you. Every time you bought something you didn't need because it was almost gone, that was dark psychology. Every time someone made you feel like the problem in a situation you didn't create, that was dark psychology too. It isn't evil. It isn't magic. It's just how human minds actually work when stripped of politeness. Here are the facts most people never get told. Fact 1. Your brain is wired to obey authority even when it's wrong. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram ran one of the most disturbing experiments in the history of science. He told ordinary people to administer electric shocks to strangers whenever they answered questions incorrectly. The shocks weren't real, but the participants didn't know that. The results were shocking in a different way. 65% of participants administered what they believed were maximum, potentially lethal shocks, simply because a man in a white coat told them to continue. They weren't monsters. They were ordinary people. They felt uncomfortable. Some of them cried. But they kept going because someone with perceived authority said so. This is why uniforms, titles, and confident body language work even when the person wearing them has no actual power. Your brain shortcuts obedience before your logic can catch up. Fact 2. People will believe almost anything if they already want it to be true. Psychologist Leon Festinger studied a doomsday cult in the 1950s whose leader predicted the world would end on a specific date. When the date passed and nothing happened, Festinger expected the members to abandon their beliefs. The opposite happened. They became more devoted. They rationalized, reinterpreted, and doubled down. This is called cognitive dissonance. When reality contradicts a belief we're emotionally invested in, most people don't change the belief. They change their interpretation of reality. This is why arguing with someone rarely changes their mind. Evidence alone almost never works. People need to feel safe enough to change, not cornered into it. Fact 3. The person who controls the framing controls the outcome. In a landmark study, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus showed people videos of car accidents and asked different groups different questions. One group was asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. Another was asked how fast they were going when they contacted each other. The word smashed caused people to report significantly higher speeds. Some even remembered broken glass in the video that wasn't there. The facts didn't change. The framing did. And framing rewrote memory itself. This is why the most powerful people in any room aren't the ones with the loudest voice. They are the ones who set the terms of the conversation before anyone else speaks. Fact 4. People comply with requests far more when given any reason at all, even a meaningless one. Psychologist Ellen Langer conducted a famous experiment at a photocopier queue. When someone asked to cut in line with no reason, about 60% of people let them. When they added the words, "because I need to make copies," which explains nothing, compliance jumped to 93%. The brain doesn't evaluate reasons. It just detects that one was given. This is why the word because is one of the most persuasive words in the human language. It triggers automatic compliance before the logical mind has time to question whether the reason actually makes sense. Fact 5. The less people feel they can have something, the more they want it. This isn't theory. It's biology. Scarcity activates the same neural pathways as physical threat. When something becomes rare, the brain treats obtaining it as a survival priority, even when it isn't. Marketers know this. Politicians know this. The people in your life who suddenly became less available right when you were losing interest, consciously or not, they knew this too. Scarcity doesn't increase value. It increases perceived value. The difference is invisible to the part of your brain making the decision. Now you know these facts, which means the next time someone makes you feel rushed or guilty or like the authority in the room, you'll have a choice most people never get. You can see it for what it is. Most people never get that choice. They just keep responding. You already used dark psychology today. Now you know what it looks like from the outside.